Hey guys, it's me. I'm making this video because I wanted the chance to actually be able to tell my story. A lot of you know from talking to me, but a lot of you don't know. So, first of all, typical symptoms for ovarian cancer can range from, abdominal pain, feeling full really quickly, feeling bloated, fatigue, and things like that, which most of those symptoms I have, but let's be real here, they can totally be associated with a million other things. So who thinks, oh, this must be, cancer or whatever. But I'm lucky that I had some other symptoms and some other issues going on, because that was actually how all of this was found. So the symptoms started with my bowels. Things just weren't right, not what I was used to. And then I started noticing some mucus. Mucus turned to blood. Blood turned to blood clots. And that's when it got really bad. And then finally I went to the doctor. I didn't feel good for a really long time, just constantly sick on my stomach. I felt like everything I ate just didn't settle right. Anything I drank, pretty much anything I did, I just overall did not feel good. And sadly enough, I had symptoms for about 6 months or more before I finally went to the doctor, which, I'm like everybody else. We don't want to go to the doctor. We just push it off as long as we can. Oh, it's fine, it'll pass, blah, 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 blah. But if it weren't actually for a very good friend of mine who actually called the doctor and was like, look, this is my friend, these are her symptoms, when's the soonest that you can get her in, I probably would have continued to put it off until, when I actually went, when it, got really bad. So anyway, I made the appointment with Dr. Brune in Winchester. He's a colorectal surgeon. Since I was having those bowel symptoms, that's who I went to. And he actually ended up referring me to the gastroenterology group there before a colonoscopy. So I went on April the 8th and had the colonoscopy. And when they do it, when you're out of recovery and stuff, then they pull you in this like side room so they can talk to you about everything and show you your pictures and stuff. So I'm sitting there waiting for the doctor, and then my phone goes off, and I started getting all these notifications on my chart for Valley Health that there were CT scans and stuff scheduled for me at like 1:15, and at this point it was like 1 o'clock, and I'm like, something's not right. Like, they must have the wrong person, or, those were my initial thoughts. So I'm still sitting there waiting for the doctor, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like something must be wrong, whatever. So they finally came in, and before they actually did the colonoscopy, what they expected was ulcerative colitis. That's pretty much what they had said, that's what they were going to find once they went in or whatever. Well, that wasn't what they found, and they told me that they found a tumor that definitely would need surgical intervention, and, there was a potential that it could be malignant. So at this point, we were looking at potential colon cancer. So I went from there to the hospital. I had a CT scan done on my abdomen and my chest. And I had to wait a couple of days to get those results back. And then I got a call from Dr. Brune, who basically said that they looked over the CT scan, and that I, indeed do have a tumor, but it is actually coming from my ovary, and had just eroded into that part of my bowel. So that's how they could see it from the colonoscopy. Sorry, my nose is itchy. But anyway, so from there, Dr. Brune referred me to one of the partners in his office that actually deals more with what I had going on. So I had an appointment with him, and I was diagnosed officially with ovarian cancer on April the 13th. And at that time, it was a very long conversation, went over, and Dr. Wagner, which was my surgeon, told us that we weren't working with just a tumor, that basically my entire pelvis and abdomen were completely taken over with tumors. So the surgery that I would be looking at is pretty huge. So that was at April 13th. I had my surgery on April 26th, which consisted of a total hysterectomy, a bowel resection. I had that part of my bowel taken out that the one tumor had grown into it. They took my appendix, and then of course removing all the tumors and lymph nodes and, you know, all of that from my abdomen and pelvis and such. So it was pretty huge. As you know from my post, I spent 13 days in the hospital. It was pretty rough. I had a lot of setbacks. But I made it through, made it home, and have been doing great. I feel good. You know, every day is different. Some days I'm more tired or, you know, whatever. But as of now, I'm good. I start chemotherapy this coming Thursday, which is the 16th of June. And I'll have it, I have to do it 12 times. So I'll do 6 cycles, and each cycle consists of 2 treatments. They're going to be very long, very hard, very aggressive. I have a list of symptoms and signs and whatever that's, you know, could happen, might happen, will happen. So it's just kind of like a waiting game at this point to see. But you know what? I'm positive. I'm going to get through it. It's a crappy time in my life right now, but I'm not going to let it get the best of me. And that's my story. Thanks for listening. I got a long road ahead, but I know that I have so many people in my corner, and believe me, as much as I tell you, I truly, truly mean it. Thank you all for your love, support, prayers, vibes, texts, phone calls, messages, all of the above. I appreciate it. I love you, and thanks for listening.